Hello and welcome to Why We Lead, educating today's warfighters to be modern and effective military leaders. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Why We Lead. I sure appreciate you being here today. I was fortunate enough the other day, Josh Powers with the Field Grade Leader somehow managed to snag General Mike Holmes, Mobile Holmes, pretty cool call sign, to get on his Zoom call, which still kind of blows my mind. But anyway, I was really happy that he was able to do that. And he was taking questions, and I just threw my hand up. I was like, hey, I'll ask a couple questions. So I asked him, obviously, stuff pertaining to leadership and as well as RPAs, since I am in the RPA community, remotely piloted aircraft, particularly with the RQ-4. However, I was able to ask him three questions. One was, I was like, hey, what is your definition of leadership? And you'll see him give that. And then the second one, I was like, hey, now that you're a four-star general, what would you do differently, say, as an O3 or younger in your career? And one of the things he talked about, which I think is all about leadership, is, whatever influences people or what impacts problem solving has on people, leadership is people. So you just got to remember that in the future. And then additionally, I asked him about RPAs, RQ-4, where they're going, MQ-9s, all that good stuff, not just in the Air Force, but as a DoD as a whole, and his answer was pretty surprising. So check it out.
Come back to you later. Chris Little, where are you? Chris is one of the teammates that I've been working with at the Field Grade Leader for a long time. Chris is a captain in the Air Force, and he's a super good dude, and he writes for us all the time. So Chris, welcome, and what do you have for us?
Hey there, sir. Captain Little, part of the 12th RS out of Beale, actually. It's
Hi,
good
Chris.
to talk to you. Hey, I got kind of a three-part question for you.
Okay.
It's a little bit more generalistic. Two are kind of pertaining to just general leadership topics, and then one's actually about RPAs.
Okay.
So what is your definition of leadership, and what is it, or what is it not?
I'll go ahead and answer as we go. I mean, I think the short answer in there is that, leadership is the art of getting people to do things they wouldn't normally do, right? Leadership is influencing people to do things that they wouldn't normally do.
Okay, and then you had talked about earlier about kind of your career path to get where you were. What would you have done differently as a captain, or what would you have told your younger self looking back as an O3 as opposed to a four-star general now?
Thanks. Chris, I don't think I would do a whole lot different, but what I wish I knew is that I think I was a success in the Air Force primarily because I was good at problem solving. There's nothing that makes me happier than having a tough problem to solve and a team to solve it with. If I have those two things, I'm pretty happy no matter what else is going on in the world. And I think I over-focused on the problems and on the details of those problems. And the more I'm in this job at Air Combat Command, and I'm a little more than 3 years into it now, I think I'm learning that I wish I had focused more on the impacts those problems have on people and the impacts that the solutions that we're developing will have on people. Because when it comes down to it, it's the people that do the Air Combat Command mission. And I wish I had learned that a little bit sooner. I think I was more focused on the technical details of problems and less on how those details affect people.
Thank you, sir. And the last question, I'm a RQ-4 pilot, so a lot of my focus is on RPAs, but
Yep.
I obviously, from my perspective, I see them growing in the future, not just in the Air Force, but in the branches in general. Do you see them becoming more of a tactical or strategic asset, or both of those?
Both, I think. I do think, people ask me, is it going to be manned or unmanned in the future of Air Combat Command? And, the answer is yes, right? We're going to do both, and the future is teaming between the two. I am a little concerned about our remotely piloted aircraft enterprise and the vulnerability of the links and the way we communicate. I think the future will be more and more autonomous for our unmanned systems. And autonomy is not new to us. We have had AI in our cockpits for a long time. We've had autonomous machines and cruise missiles, that were allowed to make certain decisions and do things and guide to their target. I think the future for us will be finding that mix between, not so much between manned and unmanned, but will be autonomy, with some of the systems having a person to make them autonomous and some of them having algorithms and machine learning to do it. That's not going to happen right away, but I think the guys like you will find your job shifting into, how do you plan and prepare and direct at a larger scale level than one aircraft to make missions happen with autonomous unmanned vehicles. Over.
Awesome. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
So hopefully you're able to glean something out of that, particularly about senior leadership perspective of what leadership is, obviously the influence, and then how it always relates back to people. In addition to that, with RPA and where the future of that is headed, I'm just excited as you are. So anyway, thanks for your time, and leave a comment below if you have any questions.